Then the fifth angel blew his trumpet, and I saw a star that had fallen from the sky to the earth. It was given the key for the passage to the abyss. It opened the passage to the abyss, and smoke came up out of the passage like smoke from a huge furnace. The sun and the air were darkened by the smoke from the passage. Locusts came out of the smoke onto the land, and they were given the same power as scorpions of the earth. They were told not to harm the grass of the earth or any plant or any tree, but only those people who did not have the seal of God on their foreheads. They were not allowed to kill them, but only to torment them for 5 months. The torment they inflicted was like that of a scorpion when it stings a person. During that time, these people will seek death but will not find it. They will long to die, but death will escape them. The appearance of the locusts was like that of horses ready for battle. On their heads they wore what looked like crowns of gold, and their faces were like human faces, and they had hair like women's hair. Their teeth were like lions' teeth, and they had chests like iron breastplates. The sound of their wings was like the sound of many horse-drawn chariots racing into battle. They had tails like scorpions with stingers. With their tails, they had the power to harm people for 5 months. They had as their king the angel of the abyss, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon, and in Greek Apollyon. The first woe has passed, but there are 2 more to come. Then the sixth angel blew his trumpet, and I heard a voice coming from the 4 horns of the gold altar before God, telling the sixth angel who held the trumpet, "Release the 4 angels who are bound at the banks of the great river Euphrates." So the 4 angels were released, who were prepared for this hour, day, month, and year to kill 1/3 of the human race. The number of cavalry troops was 200 million. I heard their number. Now in my vision, this is how I saw the horses and their riders. They were red, blue, and yellow breastplates. And the horses' heads were like the heads of lions, and out of their mouths came fire, smoke, and sulfur. By these three plagues of fire, smoke, and sulfur that came out of their mouths, 1/3 of the human race was killed. For the power of the horses is in their mouths and in their tails, for their tails are like snakes with heads that inflict harm. The rest of the human race, who were not killed by these plagues, did not repent of the works of their hands, to give up the worship of demons and idols made of gold, silver, bronze, stone, and wood, which cannot see or hear or walk, to repent of murders, their magic potions, their unchastity, or their robberies. I just think that these things that talks about repenting of, all of these things, obviously, I'm not a scholar, I'm not even, and it just is a mystery. I think it is supposed to be mysterious and unknown and held on loosely until the time it comes to pass. And it's clear, because if I jump to a conclusion, then I might miss the truth. But I do think to give up the worship of demons and idols made of gold, silver, bronze, stone, and wood, which cannot see or hear or walk. I think sometimes when I read these things, I have a tendency to think of like the Old Testament stuff, like where they were building actual idols and all of that. But I think that it's so much of in the culture, the worship of something other than God, because we are made to worship whether or not we realize it's what we're doing. Sometimes it's, I don't know. I think it's when we get really into music stuff or television stuff or even another person, sometimes we do these kinds of things, and like where we are making an idol out of something. And I think it's sometimes we don't know what else to do. I think it's part of, becomes something that we go to, because I can't even imagine at a time with all of these things that it's talking about, like just being completely unrepentant, other than, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's important to keep in mind that it's not just like the big giant statue stuff. It's all kinds of things. The magic potions, I put up their medicine. I don't know. Is it medicine? Is that what it means? Because I've wondered about that sometimes with all my medical issues, and wondered, and like, I don't know. It's just interesting to consider.